Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about gardening. I've had a lot of people asking me about gardening this year. I think it has to do with the current situation of the world, and it just seems more important to become more self-sufficient. And we're all holed up in our houses, so why not? Gardening is a great topic. The way I like to start my garden is inside with a few seedlings. And I haven't been able to do this in a couple of years because I've been traveling every April, but not this year. So, keeping things really simple is kind of the way I like to go about all the gardening that I do without getting really into soil or really into compost or anything like that. I pick up these little Jiffy pots, and they have these bigger ones that they say are for tomatoes. They're like that. And these smaller ones, which are what I'm used to working with, they're just so tiny. And you can put them into trays and then you rehydrate them with water. So you just fill it up 3/4 full to the top of the tray, let them rehydrate, and then you can pour off the excess that might collect in the bottom of the pan. It's really simple. And then I'll also pick up just a bag of potting soil, so I'm not taking in soil from outside. Sometimes it gets full of bugs and things that hatch inside of your house. Talking from experience. So it's better to just pick up a little bag from the store. And again, I'm not super picky about that. I just pick up maybe Miracle Grow or whatever they have available. It's not really a big deal. So the first thing that you would do to start your garden is either to go buy your seeds or order your seeds. I ordered my seeds this year from Bessie's and they haven't arrived yet, so I just picked up a few packages from Walmart. I have some other seeds that I've saved from last year, and yeah, I've just picked up a few to get started in the house, mostly tomatoes because they take a while to start before you're gonna let them grow bigger and then put them outside. So I'm going to just show you. It's almost so simple that it's like self-explanatory, but I'm gonna show you anyway. So it says on the back of these, days to sprout, 7 to 14 days. Seed depth is 1/4 inch and seed spacing is 1 inch. So if you place one seed to every Jiffy pot, that'll be just perfect. That's more like if you're planting them into a big container or putting them into the ground, that you would have to space them out like that. And they're so tiny, just like the seeds from the inside of a tomato, which is exactly what they are. Like if you were saving seeds yourself from your tomatoes, you would dry them out and just keep them like that. And you can totally do that. It's really cool. Sometimes when you open a tomato or a different fruit, you might notice that the seeds have already sprouted inside of there, and those ones are perfect for keeping and for saving. So it seems that you can fit quite a few plants into these little trays, and you can, and you have to be a little bit careful because although they start out this small, in a week they'll sprout. In 2 or 3 weeks, they'll all have little roots growing out from the bottom of them, and they'll need to be transplanted into something bigger, like this. So I would fill this up with the Miracle Grow, and then I would just pop one of these right inside. Now it says that the sacks around these little bunches of dirt will dissolve, but I've had it where they don't really dissolve that well, and they kind of always stay there, so I usually just like rip them. I rip mine and I put them in the ground like that. And then even from these little pots, you might want to use something more like this because it's easier to transplant. And then you'll have to put them into an even bigger container outside. So it starts off tiny and you'll have like maybe 70 little seedlings, and then suddenly every windowsill in your house will be covered with its own little pot, and then it just gets out of control really fast. Of course, you can start a lot and gift one to a friend or gift some out to people. But yeah, just be wary of that because it can explode into like a crazy plant lady situation really fast. So some of the other things I'm starting inside today will be some cucumbers. They go outside. Usually I'll also put some cucumbers just in the soil outside in the ground in the garden. So I guess I like to start some inside and just put some outside and kind of see what you get. You'll get a little bit of an early variety a couple weeks before everything else. I'm gonna start some parsley inside, I think, and just keep it going inside for a long time so I can have my own windowsill herb garden this year and maybe keep it through the whole winter. Same with the cilantro. I'm gonna have windowsill cilantro. I love letting morning glories grow into my house and outside, so I'm just gonna start some of those, and they kind of vine up around things and like ivy. Like, I just like to watch it, and then beautiful flowers sprout, and it's just lovely. And I have 2 other varieties of tomatoes that I'm gonna start inside. So, and just because things can get out of hand really fast, and if it's your first time gardening, you might not recognize things as they're coming up for what they are. I just like to use popsicle sticks and write on them with a Sharpie exactly what I'm growing so that it doesn't get too crazy. Oh, I forgot to mention one more thing. If you guys don't have a yard, I do a lot of container gardening outside in my backyard, which is made of pavement. And there's also the community garden in Airdrie, that's where I grow out of as well. And another place that I grow out of is my friend's house. So I've made an agreement with a friend who has an acreage and doesn't really like gardening very much, that I will come out and grow food there for both of our families. So that's another really beautiful option for those of you that don't have space. There's always a solution. You don't have to dig up all of your grass just to have a yard, although it's not a bad idea. Gardening is such a beautiful connection with earth, with nature, with your food. The things that you pull out of your garden, you'll have a sense of pride in them and a deeper connection because it was your hands that planted them. And it's said that the plants even start to recognize your DNA. And because plants are allies, they grow in a way to support you like this. And maybe it's scientific and maybe it's not. I read all about it in the Anastasia books, and I just thought that that was so cool. Here we go. This is also such a deep connection with our ancestors, because they grew a lot of their food. And you start to realize how hard it might have been for them, because especially here in Alberta, we get so much hail, so much weather problems. And one hailstorm can come and within 20 minutes decimate all of your hard work, destroy absolutely your whole garden, except for the things that are under the ground. And can you imagine if you didn't have the grocery store to just go to? If that was actually just like your whole food for the year. So I think in that way, it helps to connect you to your ancestors and just realize or become more aware of what they went through just to survive. So a lot of the trays will come with these plastic lids that you can put on top of them, and that'll just help to trap in more heat and create more humidity. You can see mine are so broken. I've used them so many times, so don't be afraid to reuse all of this stuff. There, just like that. And I'll place it beside the window, and they'll start to grow, and then I'll take the lid off as they start to grow, or maybe even just like prop it up to keep a lot of the heat in. And they'll probably start to grow so big that I won't even need the lid anymore. So I will place it underneath so that it doesn't get lost. And that's my process. This is the first video of many, and I'll try to keep documenting. In a few weeks, hopefully sooner than later we'll be able to get outside and start working in the actual soil in the ground and preparing it and starting to put in the early vegetables that will grow first. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys that are asking about this stuff. I keep it really simple. I know you can go onto Pinterest and start just diving deep into every rabbit hole of every little thing. And I did that for a lot of years. And what I found is that it's just like, it's so much easier to do it with like none of that extra stuff. I do keep my eggshells. Sometimes I do my own compost, sometimes I don't. I can talk more about that if you're interested. So if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comment section or send me a message. The next time we have another garden video, we'll hopefully be outside. So stay tuned.